Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for a brand new How I Made It episode in the form of one track, one video. Today I'm in Vienna, Austria, one of the most musical capitals in Europe. And I feel this is just perfect to tell you about some of the story behind one of my classic tracks by the name of Eurobeat by Dr. Love. But before we fly to my Studio B, please be sure you have subscribed to this channel by also clicking the little bell to be notified as a brand new video comes out. When a given track becomes a classic, the buzzing around it goes louder and louder. Therefore, with this video series, I'll reveal many behind the scenes and untold stories which I've been through in producing all of my classic tracks. And a little bit of equipment breakdown doesn't hurt at all, by the way. Eurobeat by Dr. Love. They often ask me for this. What's behind this track creation? Do you actually make this popular voice effect on your own? Are those screaming voices any free sample? Is there any guitar part? What makes it so aggressive? How can intro sound so modern and current? How this synth-phrase is so uplifting? My answers to all the above right after the intro. I produced this track back in 1997. The tune was actually composed by SinclaireStyle main collaborator in composing songs, my pal Giordano Foglia. Back then, Giordano was used to send over several demo tapes for me to pitch his tunes, and one of them was tentatively entitled Visitors. As soon as I played Visitors demo tape, I thought it was so amazingly powerful that it deserved some very important title. What better than Eurobeat? Giordano, of course, couldn't agree more. I usually write most of the song's lyrics, but during that period of time, I was a very busy cat. So I did ask Clara Moroni for writing the lyrics to this song on my behalf. She did it very well and catchy. Eurobeat was vocally performed by the legendary Nando Bonini, who's nowadays one of my neighbors, by the way. Although at that time I was still based at my own Maverick studio in Milan, and so I remember Nando dropped himself into the city by his Vespa scooter. And the same day he performed for, think about it, Eurobeat, Music Go Wild and Spark in the Dark. Throughout the decades, many fans noticed that I have a passion for peculiar voice effects. Most of my hit records have had at least one of them. So often they ask me if I actually create my peculiar, outstanding effects on my own. Today's tracks, Eurobeat makes no exception. And I was often asked if this vocoder effect was actually made the same way as for Night of Fires. Well, yes, it's the same trick I've used for Night of Fire. And here's the guy responsible for it, Roland SBC 350. It's a vocoder machine, and my faithful Clavia Nord Lead 1 as a carrier. The source was Nando Bonini shouting Eurobeat into the vocoder. Check out the source, the carrier source, and the mix of the twos.
Eurobeat! Eurobeat!
Back then I was still living in the analog world. And you know, sometimes I still regret I haven't this piece of gear in my studio any longer. When people start listening to a song on heavy rotation, it happens that even all less audible details become outstanding. So for this track Eurobeat, so many wondered if both the screaming go and the falling beat were some sort of free samples taken somewhere around. Of course not. I rarely use free samples. Also because I've been so lucky to deal with excellent singers with amazing vocal skills. So in this case, such a powerful voice shout was a mix of Nando and Clara's multiple takes shouting "Go!". The following beat, however, was taken by splitting Nando singing the word Eurobeat. All the above was after harmonized with this dude here. And now check them all out as raw takes from the microphone and then the effective mix.
Go! 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 Me.
You know, that's one of perpetual questions they always ask me about. Many of my most popular tracks sound like if some guitar part worked here and there. But this case as well, my answer is nope. Likely the combination of distorted pads and aggressive bass sound gives the sonic illusion of a guitar playing hidden somewhere below. In this particular case of the track Eurobeat, I believe the distorted pad from Roland 106 is the main responsible for such an illusion. Check it out in solo mode and in the mix. Well, I've always been excited in tricking synthesizers, even back then in 1987. In this case, what I've done simply was coupling two synthesizers and making them modulating their filters simultaneously. As you may have noticed, this intro part is the same as for this track main synth-phrase, by the way. Here's Roland JD800 and North Lead working together. Well, first of all, and from a musical point of view, this is one of the most beautiful synth phrases I've ever heard in Eurobeat. However, on the sound production side, this is one of the rare cases where I didn't build my usual tall tower of synthesizers. In this case, I've used only two because I really like the sound made out of those two. So, in order for me to save an uniform sound in the track, I've continued using the previous synthesizers by only slightly changing the presets. Listen to them both in solo mode and then together. And that was it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this brand new How I Made It video. And if so, please click on the thumb up below and bring me a great deal of pleasure by increasing this channel's subscribers amount. Stay safe. Peace out.